Well, hopefully it's not too loud. I do have a barge creeping up on me. And I am steering. But I'm idling at 5.4 knots. And these glasses don't allow you to see the phone, so I hope my head stays in picture. If not, you're probably grateful. Anyway, thought I'd talk about how I end up living on the cheap like this. I had savings, but this is not the first time I've just kind of gone out into nowhere and lived off of the 10% service-connected disability. So, basically, we'll talk about the boat for a second. Like I said, each engine has a its own independent 70-gallon tank. Then I have two 6-gallon portable jugs to top off for trips like this. And so essentially I've got 152 gallons of fuel. They always estimate that there's a 10% that's unusable because of the way the tube pulls from the gas tank. But anyway, that's what that is. I've got a 30-gallon, what in the RV world you'd call a black water tank for waste. And when it comes to water, I have a 40-gallon water supply. And it's underneath the V-berth, so it really weighs the nose down when you travel. But 40 gallons will last just about 2 weeks. And that's kind of thriftily washing dishes. I use water every morning for coffee. And I also have the two, they're in another video, but in the boat tour probably. But you can see I have two 6-gallon potable water jugs. So really I've got 52 gallons of usable water on board. I'll talk about the dynamics of food and stuff. Number one, I don't have a range or anything like that. So before I left, I went to Walmart and I got man, it works perfectly. Absolutely wonderful fold up, but it folds down to be a 2-eye burner. It takes the green propane tanks. So before I ever left Seneca, I bought, geez, I don't know, but last time I counted, I had 8 of those green propane tanks, which tend to last a pretty long time. And so I do all my cooking, unless I have the luxury of being hooked up to shore power, then I can use the George Foreman grill but that's only if you have stuff that needs grilling. You can't cook in a pot on top of it, unfortunately. So I do all my cooking on a Coleman Fold and Go, which is a phenomenal cooktop. Type of food. First, I'll tell you about the type of drinks. I don't mind drinking alcohol, but a life like this, you just you know, it's hard to spend $10 on some cans of beer when you can buy 5 big packs of crackers, probably at least 3 boxes of like Clover Valley or Dollar General, basically, or Walmart generic brand granola crackers. Because every morning my routine is I'll get up, I'll take my pot. I only have 2 pans and pots. I have one pot. It's measured at 6 cups, but that's not all the way up to the top. But I have one pot and one really nice, I don't know if it's called a Ninja or something, but it's like one of those diamond plated or no stick type pans. And so I learned a long time ago when I was camping, traveling the country, all you really need is 2 pans. An actual pan and an actual pot with a lid. Between those 2 things, you can cook anything you need to live off of anyway. So what I have is this carafe from Walmart that has a built-in filter. One of the hard plastic permanent coffee filters. And then it's got a little snap-in, kind of like a lid, but it's got a hole for it, for the coffee to pour through. And that way, all I got to do if I want coffee is bring some water to not even a boil, but and then pour it over. And I have fresh coffee every morning. Doesn't require much gas or propane, and it's simple enough. For breakfast, what I do, especially when I'm traveling, sometimes I won't eat breakfast, but if I'm traveling, I need to eat something. So what I do is those Clover Valley granola bars, or Nature Valley, whatever I happen to have. But basically, I'll take 2 packs of granola bars, you know, little tiny ones like these, and that'll be my breakfast. I'll eat 2 of those for breakfast, and that goes a long way. And then as the day goes by, you get a little hungrier, I'll take a couple of crackers and eat those until I can get settled somewhere for cooking something. You're probably not going to like anything I say about my diet, and it's a horrible diet, but whatever, it's cheap and I'm still alive. But also, I eat a lot of hot dogs. I'll get the cheap hot dogs that are like Bar S or something. So for $2, you eat 2 hot dogs per meal. That's 4 whole meals. You know, if you add $1 for one of the dollar bags of chips, you know, you spread out the chip bag between a couple meals. It's a full meal for $2, several times over. So that's how I kind of thriftily live. I do have. I did buy 2 of the like case type boxes of ramen noodles, chicken and shrimp, and those are all right. The only problem is that you don't want to live off of ramen noodles because there's no meat-like protein, so it'll run right through you. We'll just say that. So I really try to stay away from those if I can help it. But they're there as a resort. They're just some one-off alternative. Another thing I do, since I don't, I just can't bring myself to spending money on alcohol because my money has to go so far. And if you're not traveling, you can stay on anchor for a week or two, or maybe more. But water supply wise, a good 2 weeks you could nurse out of staying on anchor. But I can't bring myself to buy alcohol. So what I do is if ever I'm at a marina or somewhere with the water supply, I'll fill up the bladder, and then I have a whole bunch of water bottles. Typically they're old, like Life Water or Powerade bottles, and most of them are twice the size of the little, what is it, like a 16.9 ounce or whatever the little typical bottles are. The bottles I have are twice that. And so the other thing I do is I'll spend $4 or $5 on the flavor pouches that you can add to drinks, and so that way I'm never just drinking water. I have a large selection of, whether it's, say, Country Time lemonade, and then typically what I'll do is I'll blue raspberry, which is pretty good. But typically when I'm traveling, I'll take on travel days, that's what I'll take. I'll take two of those bottles with me. And then if something happens, I can run downstairs and grab another one if I really, really need to. That tugboat's getting on the bar, just getting a little closer. But typically that's what I'll do, is just drink water, but I use those flavor pouches so they can get a whole bunch of different flavors. And the more I drink them, the more kind of concentrated they taste. Some of them are really strong. They're good, but they're strong, like the Starburst. So what I've started doing is putting one pouch in a water bottle that's twice the recommended size for it. So it tastes diluted, but if you get used to it, it doesn't really taste diluted at all. It just tastes pretty normal. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this together and talk about how I live on the cheap. And it's basically with flavored drinks. I drink nothing but water, but it's flavored. And then hot dogs, anything non-perishable. I get some canned stuff, like, I don't know, clam chowder or chili, or I got some Chef Boyardee, like SpaghettiO type stuff, things like that. But it's all anything that's non-perishable besides hot dogs, which are more resilient than the average unprocessed meat. But anyway, that's just some of the ways I live on the cheap. So hope you enjoy that. Bye. And thanks for watching.